Whoo-hoo! Howdy! Did you give it a go? I hope so. But anyway, here we are. I'm not going to keep you. I'm just going to go through the solution very, very quickly and explain every step along the way. So how do we do this? It can be a bit tricky, but you know what? It's going to surprise you how simple the solution really is. So let me scroll down here. The first step, of course, is we have to include our script tag. We know this. And we're wanting to utilize event bubbling and event delegation. And what that means is we want to listen to our events on a certain section in our page, but we want to listen to that event from one element, right? Because we know events bubble up. And let's call that the UL, but the UL we want to either show or hide. I know it's a horrible name, but it's just what I thought of now. And let's now assign that to which value? Well, let's access our target. Remember, our target's going to be, if we click yucky ones, it's going to be this LI tag right here. We want to access that, and then we want to query select all its UL elements beneath it, right? So we can access that target. We can then access the method query selector, and we want to get all the UL elements. So far, so good. But if we now just work with that variable, what happens when we click on, say, this LI tag, kale? Well, you'd agree with me that UL doesn't exist within that LI tag. So it'll be undefined. So the last check we have to do is we just have to say if it exists. And if it exists, we know that it won't be undefined. So we can just say if it exists, and here we can execute our code. What do we want it to do? How do we hide that UL tag? Well, there are many ways to skin a cat when it comes to programming, but why don't we just add a class? And that class can have one property, and that's a display property, which can just be set to hide. And we can just toggle that class on and off. Let me show you what I mean. So let's go to our HTML at the top. Let's include a head section. Within that, a style element. And let's just add a class called hide. And as I said, it has a display property, and we can just have a value of none. So there we go. We've defined a new class. So at the very bottom, we know that everything has happened according to plan. We can access our new variable. We can then access its class list property. Remember, we've been doing this in previous lectures. But now there's another method called toggle, and it's very, very handy, and its name gives it away. It literally toggles adding and removing a class. And the class we want to toggle, of course, is that hide class. Whew, let's just check if this works. Let's click on meats. Wow, vegetables. Let's click on meats again. Let's click on other. Let's open up vegetables. Let's click on yucky ones, yummy ones, red meats, vegetables. Woo, this is fun. And I hope you learned a ton in this lecture. Seriously, and sometimes just take a step back and go through it step by step. Remember what we did? I'll go back to our code here. We defined our event delegation being on this UL element right at the top, because we know all events, all our click events are going to bubble up through it. We then wanted to listen to the click event, and finally when that event happens, we wanted to execute a function, and we just call that function show or hide. The show or hide just checks that the item we've clicked on is in fact on an li tag, because we don't want things hiding and displaying when we click randomly on a page. It has to be very specific. We check that it has to be an li tag. We then had to check that it does in fact have this UL element beneath it, and if it does, we want to toggle that class on and off, that class of hide. So there we have it. Hope you're learning a ton, hope you're having fun, and I'll see you in the next lecture.